over in Grand Rapids with the area's all-time best of 8 minutes and 4/10 of a second. And Maurice Duke is on pace perhaps to set a new record and become the first team in Greater Muskegon history to break 8 minutes in the 4x800 meter relay. And he's on the back stretch, and he has about 200 meters to go. Good crowd on hand on an absolutely perfect evening for track and field for the West Michigan Invitational, the 14th running. You can see that Maurice Duke about ready to lap one of the other competitors, that being from Kent City. He's on the inside, and he is really coming around the final turn. He's got to go about 8 seconds to the finish to break 8 minutes. Maurice Dukes of Muskegon, they're going to win it again. They'll defend, and unofficially he ran an 8-minute flat .9 4x800 meter relay. Just about a second, just one measly second away from becoming the first team to break the magic 8-minute barrier. You can see some of the other teams coming in. Fremont, Ludington, Mona Shores, and Joe Mesa Hart, as well as Orchard View. They become the 6th and final place winner here in the 4x800 meter relay.
Yeah!
We're back again at the West Michigan Invitational. Your starter, Jerry Fitzpatrick, with the gun up in the air, and we're underway with the running of the 4x800 girls relay. And we have a whole bunch of teams entered in this event, paced by our defending champs from Mona Shores, Greenville, Fremont, Reeths-Puffer, Hart, Whitehall, Grant, Tri-County, Shelby, Montague, Catholic, my alma mater, North Muskegon, and Kent City. They've all qualified for this event. Should have a pretty good field. Mona Shores, they're your defending state champion, and they should be the heavy favorites to win this event. But Greenville also has posted some mighty good times this year, and they'll be anchored by the gal who was the Class A regional champion and your defending champion this year in the open 800-meter run. And we're going to try to pan around Orchard View High School while this is going on and take a little peek perhaps at the pole vault competition. We understand the bar has been raised to what would be a new meet record of 14 feet 8 inches. And Russ Pickle is at the end of the runway. And we'll get to Russ here in just a minute as the girls come around for the first leg in the 800-meter relay. As Jenny Schwartz of Greenville, closely followed by Tammy Schiller of Mona Shores, and now Tammy for the Sailors has taken the lead. We just had word that North Muskegon's Matt Steigelman had won the shot put competition. All-area performer in football for Dave Cook's North Muskegon team, and there's Pickle going down the runway, and he fails to make at 14.8. Ben Robbins, the other competitor, left, and boy, he comes some kind of a pole vaulter. He's already cleared the all-time area best of 15 feet 7 earlier this year. He's the regional champion, defending state Class A champ. So just an outstanding field in the pole vault, and they're shooting for a new record and perhaps an area best. I'm glancing at the flag at the north end of the stadium, and we got a little bit of a crosswind, so the wind not exactly favoring the pole vaulters here early this evening. Tammy Schiller now with a commanding lead of about 15 meters or so. She'll give the Sailors of Mona Shores a big lead. Unofficially about 2:27, a good quick opening split for Mona Shores under a 10-minute pace. Mona Shores, Greenville, Whitehall, Fremont, Hart, and Reeths-Puffer, your current leaders in the girls 4x800 meter relay. Running the second leg for Mona Shores will be Heather Crouch. I believe that was her sister, Kristen, who was such an outstanding runner, and now up at Michigan Tech, who helped the Sailors win a state championship a year ago. They hold the all-time area best in this event, and that was set in 1990, 9:31.2, but the meet record, are reachable, I feel, this afternoon, 9:47.8. That's set by Fremont. Fremont setting the record in the year that Mona Shores set the all-time area best. Fremont with an outstanding team here this year that has already captured the Seaway Conference Championship and the regional. Running a second leg, that is not Heather Crouch, that's Shannon Swinburne. I beg your pardon, that's John Swinburne's daughter, who was a head coach for many years at Oak Ridge. We had her listed to run the third leg, and instead I believe that is Shannon Swinburne running leg number 2 for Mona Shores, who will be anchored by Mary Amy Hornick. From what we understand, Pickle has missed again at 14.8. And we'll check on whether or not Ben Robbins still has trials remaining at this particular height, or maybe he's passed. But we see him down at the end of the runway. As you can see now, as they're heading into the back stretch, and then they'll come home on the second leg of the girls' 4x800 meter relay. They're about halfway home here for the gals. And it continues to be Mona Shores in the lead, but Missy Warwick of Greenville has now made a move, and she has taken Greenville into first place. Missy Warwick on a handoff to Jana Baxter. And they're still under a 10-minute pace. Now running a third leg for the Sailors is Heather Crouch. Fremont now has moved into third. And I believe that is Hart High School fourth, and a good battle for fifth between Reeths-Puffer and Whitehall. Now here comes Ben Robbins. I don't know if we can pan down to the pole vault. He's trying to make 14.8, and he aborted his try. He got there, didn't like his steps, so it's a good thing our cameras weren't focused on him, Dave Mooney, because he did not have a trial at all. He'll go back and regroup and try it all over again. Great crowd on hand once again. Temperature hovering around the 85-degree mark, and I believe this is about the warmest day we've ever had for this event. We've always had good weather, never had a drop of rain in 14 years. And now Robbins will again try on the pole vault, and we'll see if we can pick him up for you. You can see the pole vault bar now as Robbins comes up, and again, he didn't like his steps. Going to regroup and try one more time. We've completed the first 400 meters of leg number 3 for the gals. Mona Shores, followed by Greenville. Fremont, that's Erin Pell running the third leg for the Sailors. Marcy Mahinsky currently in 4th place for the Hart Pirates. Emily Sweets running the 5th leg for Reeths-Puffer. A little further back to Whitehall. Whitehall has Susan Jeanplong running the 3rd leg, and Michelle Mudler now has passed Montague with a good leg, and she now has moved North Muskegon into 7th position. Robbins again regrouping now. Technically, he has 2 minutes to complete a trial, but they may be a little liberal here at this meet. Officiated for the 14th consecutive year by the veteran head coach of North Muskegon for many years, Wes Bunks. He was my head track coach back in the late 1950s at North Muskegon. And now here goes Robbins once again in the pole vault. He plants, he's on the way, and he's underneath the bar. Not a very good attempt at all for your defending Class A champion, Ben Robbins. And now we're approaching the anchor leg. And this is Mary Amy Hornick, an outstanding sprinter. She can run everything from the 100 through the 800. She's the city 400-meter champion. She's a regional 400-meter champion. This will be her only race of the day. So she's going to be fresh. She has an academic honors assembly to attend here in just a few minutes down the road. So you know she's going to want to do well. But she's going to have her hands full because running the anchor leg for the Greenville Yellow Jackets is last year's defending champion in the Open 800, and that is Sarah Miner. Mary Amy Hornick trying to shoot for a meet record of 9:47.8. She has about a 20-meter lead. As she comes by the finish line, she'll have exactly 400 meters to go. Mary Amy Hornick followed by Miner, and Hornick seems to be running very smoothly, well under control. The Yellow Jackets of Greenville, Class A regional champions, Seaway Conference champs. Fremont is in second position. Hart, Jorgen Borgeld running in fifth position. The Reeths-Puffer Rockets, they're looking for a medal with Laura Zook on anchor. Jamie Wilson anchoring Whitehall. They're currently in sixth. Mary Lee Ramtham in seventh for Montague, and Harmony Maple anchoring for North Muskegon. Now we have, about 100 meters to go for Mary Amy Hornick, and she has stretched out her lead over last year's defending 800-meter champion, Mary Amy Hornick, looking to set a meet record right here, and she appears to be on that pace. Mary Amy Hornick trying to set a new meet record as she has passed the Eagles of Kent City, and she heads for the finish line. It's going to be awfully close. She's tightened up a little bit, 9:47.2 unofficially, and if that holds up, that will be a new meet record set by Mona Shores. Previous record was 9:47.8. The Yellow Jackets of Greenville hang on to second. The Fremont Packers, they'll finish third behind the anchor of Ann Byland. Finishing fourth, Jorgen Borgeld, the 800 champion of the West Michigan Conference. For the Hart Pirates, fifth will be Zook of Reeths-Puffer. And Jamie Wilson of Whitehall will finish sixth. And those are your sixth place winners in the girls 4x800 meter relay. And right at the top of the stand, we have a couple of guys from the West Michigan Conference, Leonard of Whitehall and Steigelman of North Muskegon. Matt, the guy bedecked in yellow and blue shorts, he is your shot put champion. We announced him here being a winner just a few moments ago. Right now, we like to direct your attention, if we could now, down to the starting line, where we will have the running of the boys 110-meter high hurdles. Meet record in this event, 14.2, set by Mona Shore's Dave DeHorn. And the all-time record set by Derek Stinson of Muskegon in 1981. Your competitors on the inside of the track in green and gold is Mark Lewis of Muskegon Catholic. He was a Class C regional champion and third in the city. In lane number 2, Ramondo Bernard. He was first in the city meet this year, second in the Class A regional. And they're off, and it's a fair start. First to clear over the hurdles is Evans. Bernard in lane number 2, and I think Bernard's got him by a little bit. And now Evans is coming back at him. Chad Evans in the purple and gold in the center of the track in lane number 3. He has the lead, and it is Evans nipping Ramondo Bernard unofficially about 14.9. And on the telestrator, you will see the official time. And we get a chance to edit it for you a little bit later on. But Fierce to West, your champion in 110-meter high hurdles this year for the boys was Chad Evans. He stays hot. He wins again out of Greenville High School.
From Grant High School, we're going to throw 33 feet 4 inches. Sugar from Orchard View High School in 5th place, 33 feet 6. Sibley of Walkerville, 4th place, 33 feet 8. 3rd place, Stebelton from Fremont High School, 34 feet 5. Second, Brayman of Greenville High School, 35 feet 11 inches. The 1992 champion from Grand Haven High School, Becky Baldus, with a throw 36 feet 1 inch.
Pole vault judge and head coach for many years, bringing up those official pole vault results for us, and it looks like Russ Pickle of Mona Shores has it set a meet record, 14 feet 8 inches, and it's a school record as well, beating his old record that he held, 14 feet 7 inches. Got it right here, Wes, in our record somewhere down here. We'll pick it up here for you in just a couple of minutes. Right now, we're going to do the contestants and the girls. 110-meter high hurdles in lane number 1, Michelle Hannah Ludington. Lane number 2, Joe Whitty of Fremont. Angie Mustonen of Greenville is in lane number 3. Holly Brooker of Christian in 5. Stephanie Hall of Spring Lake is in 5, rather. Brooker in 4, and Petra Alwyn of Montague in lane number 6. Favorite in this event is Mustonen. Best time 14.5. But Holly Brooker, the Class D girl, got a great start out of West Michigan Christian, but she 4-steps the hurdles. Mustonen 3-steps them, and she's got a commanding lead. Angie Mustonen of Greenville will win big time here. And Brooker with a good time, 14.8 unofficially. 14.8, and that may be a new meet record. Meet record in the pole vault here today, and also we feel a meet record in the girls' 100-meter hurdles. I wouldn't be too surprised if Holly Brooker of West Michigan Christian bettered her own personal best and added on to and improved her school record for West Michigan Christian in that race as well, as she was not that far behind Angie Mustonen, who unofficially runs a 14.8. We'll introduce the 100-meter finalists for you right now. In lane number 1, regional and Class C conference champion from West Michigan Conference champion Whitehall is Mike Bozum in lane number 1. Aurelius Randall, Muskegon Heights, second in the regional and second in the city, second in the conference. He'll be in lane number 2. And lane 3, Rod Armstrong of Muskegon Heights. Lane number 4 will be your city champion, Chris Davis, from the strong sprinting core of Muskegon Heights. Lane number 5 will be Kenny Bean, your new Fruitport school record holder and Seaway Conference champ just the other day. And lane number 6 will be Jason Lovell of Ludington. They're in their blocks. Them is up. And a good start for all. And it appears to be Aurelius Randall in 2 and Bean to the outside. That looks like Randall on the inside in lane number 2, the winner, but it's awfully tight at the finish line. Unofficially, we had Aurelius Randall of Muskegon Heights winning in 10.9, a meet record 10.7, set by David Howell and Jerron Johnson of Baldwin. But it appeared that Randall was first and very tight for second between, I believe, Chris Davis of Muskegon Heights and Kenny Bean of Fruitport. You can see the boys, I believe that's your high jumpers, being honored down below or getting ready to be honored. But right now we're going to go to the starting line and we're going to pick up the contestants for you in the girls 100-meter dash meet record 12 seconds flat, set by Kathy Fitzpatrick of Mona Shores, who also holds the all-time area best, 11.7. Her dad is one of the starters here this evening. Lane number 1 is Brandy Epping of Fremont. Lane number 2, Jenny Vanover of Grand Lake. Number 3, Leslie Lake, regional and conference champion from Greenville. Sharice Dickerson, who won this event a year ago and was first in the Class C regionals. And lane number 4, Laura Wildfawn in 5 from Whitehall. Lane 6, Paula Pasha from Muskegon Heights. Lane 6, Tori Short of Whitehall. They're in their blocks, ready to go. Leslie Lake would be the favorite. Dickerson won this event a year ago, and Leslie Lake off to a big start. Lake with a commanding lead. Leslie Lake of the Yellow Jackets, their team is doing well. She joins Mustonen as a winner here for the gals in the last couple of events. Unofficially, I had her in about 12.5, well off the meet record set by Kathy Fitzpatrick, but it appeared to be one in the hurdles and one in a 100-meter dash for Greenville's Yellow Jackets as Lake follows her teammate Mustonen to the award stand. Crowd favorite, the boys 800-meter relay. Your contestants here today include in lane number 1, Grand Haven. In lane number 2, Whitehall. And the Vikings were Class C regional champs, and they won the West Michigan Conference Championship as well. In lane number 3 will be your big heavy favorites here tonight, Muskegon Heights. They were first in the regional, first in the city, first in the Seaway Conference. In lane number 4 will be Muskegon. They were second in a city meet to the Tigers and fifth in the Class A regionals. And lane number 5 will be Mona Shores, fourth in the conference, fourth in the city. And in lane number 6 will be the Hart Pirates, fourth in the Class C regionals. Meet record in this event, 130.9, set by the Heights Tigers in 1984. All-time area best. That was set way back in 1962 by Muskegon Heights. 30 years this record has stood the test of time. Also on the award stand right now, we can see Angie Mustonen being presented her award for winning the 110-meter high hurdles. I want to catch her official time. 14.9. That is a new meet record for Angie Mustonen, and Holly Brooker, I believe, got a record to boot in the hurdles for West Michigan Christian. All right, they're in their blocks now. This event, for the first time this year, will be run in their lanes the entire race. Kind of missed that third handoff. And a fair start. Going to be tough to pick up perhaps who's leading this, because they are going to be staggered in their lanes all the way. But in the black uniforms, you can see them right now in the center of the track, right in the center of your picture, moving to the rear of the picture. That's the Muskegon Heights Tigers. They should be the favorites here. And that's Aurelius Randa, who won the 100 here just a few minutes ago. He's on the first leg, and they have the baton first. They're in the lead, Muskegon Heights. The Muskegon Heights Tigers now. Ron Armstrong running the second leg for the Muskegon Heights Tigers. To his outside is sophomore Charles Anderson of Muskegon. Again, they're staggered all the way, and Muskegon Heights has made up the stagger at all the teams on the outside. They still have another lap to go. Oh, good handoff for the Tigers. Good coaching. Exhibited right there is Chris Davis on the baton. He was a finalist in the 100-yard dash. He was the 1992 Greater Muskegon City champion, and he has a commanding lead over the Big Reds, Ramondo Bernard, who was runner-up in the hurdles here a few moments ago. Anchoring for Muskegon Heights will be Trinity Townsend, and nobody will probably catch Trinity. Trinity Townsend, the all-time area record holder in the 400-meter dash on the anchor. Rico Johnson of Muskegon anchoring for the Big Reds, who I believe are in second position, but it is Muskegon Heights with a commanding lead. Trinity Townsend heading for the wire, and he crosses the line, 130.2, close to a meet record. Muskegon second, Whitehall third, Mona Shores fourth, Grand Haven was fifth, and Hart Pirates bring up the rear in sixth position. 130.3 is the time that I have unofficially. And the meet record in this event, 130.1. So the Tigers are very close to setting the meet record. Times are fast here. The track is lightning fast, and hope you're enjoying the 14th running. That's it for the 800-meter relay. The qualifying teams for the gals in the 4x200-meter relay, or known by many as the 800-meter relay. Two heats, and in heat number 1, they'll be running not only against their competitors in this particular heat, but also running against the clock, as Final times will be based on place first, time second. We have in lane number 1, I believe that is Grant. Fremont will be in 2, and it will be Grand Haven in lane number 3. Jerry Fitzpatrick with a gun. Oh, what a runner he was back in his days in the 50s. Ran a 9.5 100-yard dash at Notre Dame. Ran a 9.8 at Muskegon Catholic Central, a record that has still stood the test of time, better than 35 years. And there's a fair start. Again, they're running 2 complete staggers. Grant Amy Chittenden running the first leg. Can't quite see her now as we're looking on the outside now to Grand Haven's Tanya Stevens. Brandy Epping running the opening leg for Fremont. I believe Epping and Fremont have the lead. They do. Brandy Epping handing off to hurdle finalist earlier today, Joey Whitty. With Grant quite a ways back in third with Amy Skidema. And now Grand Haven coming back just a little bit. The Bucks' Holly Bell. However, Fremont has the lead on the stagger position, and they get the handoff first, and that's Tracy Langley winning the third leg for the Packers, and they got a much better handoff than did Grand Haven's Aaron Twa. Back in third, Grant Rachel Hudson. Still another heat to follow here for the gals. And boy, I'll tell you what, we have almost perfect weather conditions right now. The flag is just about hanging limp on this warm evening. Might be tough for the distance runners a little later on because of the heat, but ideal conditions for the sprinters. Heights had the area's best time posted this year in winning the 4x200 meter event earlier. And now here comes Fremont. Angie Klaus on the anchor leg for the Packers, and she's followed by Katie Nelson of Grand Haven. A couple of pretty good anchor runners for each team. They broke 150. Each team did. 149 for the unofficial winning time for Fremont in heat number 1 and 2 for the gals in the 4x200 meter relay. Coming up now with heat 2, the fastest seeded heat for the gals. We have, 5 teams running, I believe, or is it 4? I believe I see 4 gal teams down on the track. We have Ludington. They'll be running out of lane number 1 all the way in lane number 1. They were second just a couple of days ago in the Seaway Conference Championships. In lane number 2, the Whitehall Vikings, who were first in their conference, third in the city, third in the Class C Regional. Lane number 3, Greenville's Yellow Jackets. They are hot tonight. They were also hot in the regionals. They are your champions in the regional and the Seaway Conference. Lane number 4, Mona Shores. They were your city champions in this particular event. The record for the gals, 142.8. Set by Muskegon Heights. That's also the fastest time ever posted here in Greater Muskegon. Ready to go. They go in their blocks. Ludington, Whitehall, Greenville, and Mona Shores. Leslie Lake, who won the 100, will be anchoring for Greenville. And it's a fair start. Nope, it is not a fair start. Mike Henry has blown the gun. Perhaps we might have had a little slippage in the blocks. According to the referee up here, Dave Heckerman, he's reported that Ludington really never got set in their blocks. So we may have a recall on this and no disqualification. Jerry Fitzpatrick says, hey, that was my fault. I didn't see Ludington not ready in the blocks. It's a long way from the starter with his bullhorn to the runner in lane number 1. Ludington evidently just did not hear the command, so we're going to try it all over again. A great cooperation by the crowd here. I hear a pin drop here. No trouble there, and a fair start for each team. Ludington, Whitehall, Greenville, and Mona Shores. Rena Leinberger running lane number 1 for Ludington. Jamie Wilson, the Class C champion in the 400 meters last year, running in lane number 2 for the Vikings. Out in lane number 3, and currently running in second position, Amy Noonan, second only to Wilson. Mona Shores, Rika Davis has been passed already out of the stagger. And it looked like Whitehall got the baton first. A bad handoff for Greenville, but it was a legal one. They threw up the white flag on the other side of the track, but that will really slow their time down. But they have so much talent on this team. They got Angie Mustonen, your hurdle record holder, who's already made up ground and got the lead back again from Tori Short, a 100-meter finalist earlier today. Mustonen and Whitehall get the stick about stride for stride. Very even right now between Whitehall, Stephanie Tanner, and Greenville's Heather DeWitt, who will be a 200-meter finalist a little later on in the program. A little further back to Ludington, Dawn Smith and Mona Shores. Wendy Frerichs bringing up the rear. 6 teams get medals, and we have 7 contestants. Great handoff that time for Greenville. DeWitt with a perfect baton pass over to Leslie Lake. Whitehall, not a very good handoff from Tanner to Wildfong. That will slow them up, but they're battling Ludington right now for 3rd position. It is Greenville, Leslie Lake in control, and they will win it. Unofficially 147.3 as Whitehall regroups and hangs on for 2nd. Ludington 3rd. Mona Shores 4th. And we'll wait for the times of the first heat. We'll paste those together with the times of the second heat, and we'll come up with your 6th place winners. But it appears, based on time, that Greenville was an easy winner of the girls' 4 by 200-meter relay.
Come, Becky, go! Go! Turn him over,
Becky
girl!
Warstein, our place winners in the high jump competition for men this afternoon. Becky Warstein.
Tempo, go, go, go!
They're underway in the boys' 1,600-meter run. Large field in this event. Meet record goes all the way back to 1980. Guy Jacobson of Whitehall, 4:16.8. You know, he wasn't even the most valuable performer of that meet. Boy, did we miss one there, I feel. That record has really stood the test of time, and Guy also has the all-time area best, 4:14.2. Best time posted by any of these competitors this year was turned in by Greg Lynn of Reeths-Puffer, that at the city meet, winning the city championship in 4:25.3, but very hot and muggy out there tonight. Currently, it's Daquan James of Muskegon, who was a member of that 4x800-meter relay, going to the front. And I believe that is Kevin Elliott at Kent City running in 2nd. Yeah, I don't even see Greg Lynn entered in this event here tonight, but it's Daquan James currently in 1st place. And Kurt Hammonds of Orchard View, Class B regional champion, one of the competitors. And I believe that's him in 2nd position. And Elliott is in 3rd. Kurt Owens, who just qualified for this event a couple of nights ago up in the West Michigan Conference meet, currently running in 4th position. Ben DeWitt of the Sailors is in 5th. And a little bit further back, we see, I believe that's Scott Waterstret of Fremont in the lead. Coming around now, halfway point of the meet. That is Kent City in second place. Kevin Elliott. We had an upset winner in this event a year ago. It was won by Chris Healy of Muskegon, and he is not a competitor in this. I guess he's going to defer to the 3,200 meters. He ran on a 4x800 meter relay team. Daquan James, who I believe finished fourth in this event a year ago, currently is in the lead. Elliott is in second position. Kevin Elliott last year was the champion in the 3,200 meter run, and he is threatening perhaps to win this one as well, as they have a little bit better than 500 meters to go in the 1,600 meter run. Elliott's best time posted this year is 4:35. This race was won 2 years ago by Greg Helmer, then sophomore at OV. I believe that's Helmer in third position. But right now it's Daquan James followed by Elliott, and I believe that's Helmer. It looks to me like Orchard View has got different uniforms, and I'm not all that positive that indeed is Helmer of Orchard View taking the lead. Maybe Steve Edwards of the Chronic can help me out. You think that's Edwards in the lead? That is Fremont in the lead. Okay. It is Fremont has moved into the lead. That's Dan Rader. Dan Rader of Fremont has taken the lead over to Daquan James. Elliott back in third, but Rader really stretching things out here. Radar had a time coming into this meet at 4:40.6, and boy, he is really going to shatter his personal best. He's going to be under 4:30 perhaps. He's going to beat his PR by better than 10 seconds. Dan Radar's won it in 4:26.8. Elliott is second. Daquan James is third. DeWitt of Mona Shores is fourth. And that is Andy Millspaw of Walkerville fifth, and Owens of Shelby takes sixth. 1,600 meter place winners now have crossed the line. We're underway now in the girls' 1,600 meter run. We have about 8 or 9 competitors. We had a couple of drops, some of them electing not to run both the 1,600 and the 3,200 meter on the hot evening here at Orchard View, but we do know we have the top seed running. That's April Barfoot of Whitehall, and she is currently in the lead. We'll try to pick up the rest of the competitors for you as they come a little bit closer to our camera. And I suspect that there's a couple of Fremont gals in there out of that powerful team. We got Ann Byland, one of the Packer runners. We got another gal out there in red and white, and I'm trying to pick out who that might be. That might be Barbie Cross of Muskegon. I believe that is Barbie Cross. Yeah, she's on the inside of the track. Byland on the outside. Reeths-Puffer represented by Laura Zook. Is that Emily Sweet? And a little bit further back, we have Mary McLaughlin of North Muskegon, Harmony Maple also of North Muskegon. Pole vaulters are now being honored on the awards stand. Maybe we can swing over there and pick up the presentations being made. We had an upset here earlier today as Russ Pickle has upset Ben Robbins, the defending champion and also defending Class A champion. And good sportsmanship exhibited out there as Robbins congratulates Russ Pickle, the winner. He has the meet record in this event, 14 feet 8. That's also a Mona Shores record. And I'm not sure if Russ is qualified for the state meet. I believe this may be his last meet. Well, if not, we certainly wish him well at the state meet. We do know that Robbins is a qualifier as he won the Class A regional over at Hausman Field. And we have a new leader for the gals. It appears that Ann Byland of Fremont has taken the lead. Now Barfoot trying to come back. Kraus, and that's Emily Sweet of Reeths-Puffer, currently right in there in the pack of 4. Just a little bit further back to Shelby. Lori Kamrowski. Meet record in this event for the gals, set by Kathy Ackley of Hart, 1988 505.2, the all-time area best records. That was set by Missy Thompson when she won the state Class B championship for Ludington in 1982 of 455.8. Boy, that mark won't be touched here this evening. But boy, we're going to have a good finish here. We still have a pack of 4. Byland, April Barfoot, only a freshman from Whitehall. Barbie Kraus in 3rd, and Reeths-Puffer's Emily Sweet. No, make that Laura Zook. Laura Zook, as we mentioned originally, Zook is running for Reeths-Puffer. She's among the pack of 4. They'll have one more lap to go when they come into the home stretch. Renee Stockwell of Ludington is in 5th, and Kamrowski of Ludington, or Shelby, is in 6th. Jenny Schwartz of Greenville in 7th. 6 medals awarded. And now we start to move it out a little quicker. April Barfoot has moved to the lead, the freshman. Byland remains in 2nd. And it's a pack of 3 with Kraus of Muskegon, currently 3rd. Zook has dropped back out of the race at the present time to 4th. Now it's Barfoot extending her lead, but Byland still within range in 2nd position. Appears that Kraus is dropping back a little bit, almost out of your picture right now, but still a 2-gal race between April Barfoot, the freshman, and Byland of Fremont. And Byland. April Barfoot now with 100 meters to go. They come around the final turn, and the young freshman hanging on, and Byland trying to make a final surge. Coming to the straightaway. April Barfoot, the freshman, looking for her best time of the year. She's going to be close to breaking 5:20. Barfoot will win it. Byland 2nd, 5:21 unofficially. Barbie Cross 3rd. Kamrowski comes up for 4th. Ludington Stockwell is 5th, and Zook is 6th from Reeths-Puffer. Those are your place winners in the girls' 1,600-meter run. Having now the runners moving to their blocks for the start of the 400-meter relay, 4x100-meter relay. Grand Haven in lane 1, Whitehall in 2. Muskegon Heights, heavy favorites once again in this event. They're in lane 3, Muskegon in 4, Fruitport in 5, and Muskegon Catholic in lane number 6. Meet record 48.3, set 1981 by Orchard View. Heights a big favorite in this one in lane number 3, and they're off and running. For the Muskegon Heights Tigers is Kevin Blackwell running the first leg for the Tigers. His outside, that's Muskegon's Tim Davis. Let's see who gets the baton first. It appeared to be the Tigers getting a good handoff. Muskegon also still in the picture, Rod Armstrong running the second leg with the Tigers. Charles Anderson for the Muskegon Big Reds. And it is dead even right now between Muskegon and Muskegon Heights. Larosky Craig running the third leg for Muskegon, but it appears that Cliff Akins has got the edge on him on the inside, and now we come down to the straightaway. It's Chris Davis on the anchor. Rico Johnson from Muskegon. It's Chris Davis of Muskegon Heights. The Tigers will win again. Unofficially in 43.6. Muskegon. Fruitport appeared to get a third. Too close to call for the rest of them, but Muskegon Heights, they win the 4x200. They come right back a few minutes later, and they win the 4x100 meter relay. The Tigers with their second relay championship here this evening, and they'll be favored to win 3 as they come back a little bit later on in the program with a 4x400 meter relay to conclude the program. Muskegon Heights winning the 400 meter relay. Actually, they're cutting away the pole vault equipment. Track season has come to an end at Orchard View following the completion of this meet, except for the individuals that qualified for the city. Girls 4x100 meter relay contestants are in their blocks. We have Whitehall in lane number 1. They were the West Michigan Conference champs. Ludington in lane number 2. Greenville, the top seed, in lane number 3. Grand Haven in 4. Reeths-Puffer in 5. And Grant, the outside of the track, in lane number 6. And a fair start. Greenville, who won the 4x200 meter relay earlier in the day, led off again by Amy Noonan. But right now, it looks like Reeths-Puffer has the lead. Chelsea Bass for the Rockets. She got the handoff first to her teammate, Lisa Shepard. That's on the far outside of the track. One complete stagger. And right now, I think Reeths-Puffer, who is seated next to last, has the lead. They got the stick first, running the far outside of the track. Reeths-Puffer. It is Crystal Wright. And now Grand Haven making a move on the inside. This is Aaron Twa. But right now, it is Reeths-Puffer with a narrow lead. Narrow lead for Reeths-Puffer. Katie Ketchum. Katie Ketchum on the outside for the Rockets. On the inside of the track, here comes Whitehall's Laura Wildfong, but Reeths-Puffer will hang on. Katie Ketchum anchors the Rockets to their first win ever in this particular event. Unofficially, their winning time about 52.4. The Rockets, an upset winner in the girls 4x100 meter relay. Winners in the 4x100 meter relay, that's Muskegon Heights, up there in the center of the podium, getting their first place medals in the 400 meter relay. Next on the track could be one of the highlights, I feel, of the meet here today. Out of this particular race came your outstanding individual of the meet in the men's department a year ago in Trinity Townsend when he won that thrilling 400 meter, and at that time an all-time area best, clocking a 48.3, edging out Muskegon's Dedrick Williams. Here are your contestants and lane assignments for this race. In lane number 1, Rick Casanotes of Kent City. Lane 2, Brad Amstutz of Whitehall. Lane 3, that's Trinity Townsend of Muskegon, all-time area record holder, defending champ, first in the city, first in the regional, first in the conference. Chad Kelly, an up-and-coming sophomore from Whitehall, is in lane number 4. Salafa Willis of Muskegon in 5, and Scott Oldhoff of Grand Haven in lane number 6. They're off and running, and this should be Trinity Townsend, for the most part, running this race all by himself, and we'll see how quick of a start he gets here. He has already made up the stagger to his outside. That's Chad Kelly. He's going to be an outstanding runner down the road, who's run a 51-3 400 meter race himself. Townsend now going for the all-time area best. He hits it at about 23 seconds flat for his first 200 meters of the 400 meters. He has got a commanding lead. The area's all-time best in this event. Trinity Townsend, headed for the University of Michigan, has a 3.7 grade point average, outstanding student, and a great runner, and he leads by about 20 meters. Trinity Townsend blazing for the finish line, stretching it out, and he has a 47.9, unofficially the first clocking perhaps ever to go under 48 seconds. Trinity Townsend may have broken the 48-second barrier. We'll hold for the official results. We see smiles on the part of the timers down below as they look at their watch, they shake their head, and we may have a new all-time area mark of 47.9. Certainly, that's the all-time area best. Trinity Townsend dazzling them once again here at Orchard View. Now the gals are on the track for the 400-meter dash. Sarah Miner of Greenville in 1. Katie Nelson of Grand Haven in 2. She was third in the Class A regionals, defending state Class C champion Jamie Wilson of Whitehall, the top seed in lane 3. And we'll set the rest of them for you here in just a minute. Angie Klaus of Fremont is there, and Holly Brooker of West Michigan Christian. A rare start for her in the 400 meters, and she may be a dark horse to win this event. Outstanding hurler, trying to stretch it out a little bit and move up to the 400 meters, and She's out in lane number 5 all by herself, as Angie Klaus now is currently in lane number 4, and Katie Nelson of Grand Haven in lane number 2 has moved into the lead. Wilson of Whitehall has dropped back to 3rd, a little further back to Miner, who trails the field. Right now looks like Nelson of Grand Haven, Klaus of Fremont, and Brooker of West Michigan Christian. It's anybody's race. Brooker to the outside has a narrow lead. And now in the red and white, it is Angie Klaus. Angie Klaus of Fremont with Nelson 2nd, Brooker 3rd, Wilson 4th, and Miner 5th. Unofficially, the time 60.3 seconds. Well off the meet record, a blistering 56.6 set by Kathy Fitzpatrick of Mona Shores back in 1982, and Fitzpatrick also has the all-time area best at 55.7. They didn't touch it here, but it is Angie Klaus of the powerful Fremont Packer girls team winning the 400-meter dash. We have 2 heats for the boys in the 300-meter intermediate hurdles in lane number 1, heat number 1. We have Jay Stebelton of Fruitport. Actually, they're going to leave lane 1 empty and move Stebelton out to 2. And Ben Wilson of Fremont will be in lane 3, and Jason Monette of Mona Shores will be in lane 4. Stebelton was 2nd recently in the conference meet. Monette was 3rd in the city and 4th in his conference, and Wilson was 4th in his regional and 4th in the conference. And they are in the so-called slow heat. Wilson doesn't use blocks. Very unusual. He didn't use them earlier in the 110-meter high hurdles. Fair start. This should be very tight. Right now, it looks like Wilson has cleared hurdles number 1 and 2 in first place. Still Wilson to the outside, Monette. On the inside is Stebelton. Wilson continues his lead, has Monette stumbles over the last hurdle. Running against the clock, and now Monette coming back a little bit, and on the inside is Stebelton making a challenge. Wilson with a slight lead, but now Jay Stebelton of Fruitport has taken the lead. Right up to the last hurdle, Stebelton clears it nicely, and he smoothly runs home in 41 seconds flat. Now, if that time holds up, that will be a new Fruitport school record, held by Stebelton himself. So he might have bettered his existing school record. He's the best hurdler in Fruitport history, as he earlier this season bettered the old 110-meter high hurdle record held by Stewart of Fruitport. We have one more heat to go, and there will be 4 competitors. Lane 2 will be Romando Bernard of Muskegon, who is runner-up in the city. And our hard luck runner here this year is Mark Lewis of Muskegon Catholic Central. He was first in the city. He had a winning time in the city of 38.8. That's the second fastest time ever posted in this area. Second only to Derek Stinson's 37.50, set with fully automatic timing in 1981. He tripped over the first hurdles in the regionals and did not qualify for the state, so he liked to atone for that. But boy, he'll have some great competition. Chad Evans is to his outside from Greenville. He was the Seaway Conference champion, won the 110-meter hurdles earlier today. And in lane number 5, Wayne Jenks, also at Greenville. Good field right here. This should be awfully tight between Bernard, Lewis, and Evans. Lewis out fast for Muskegon Catholic Central. He's dead even with Evans. And right now it appears that Evans has taken a narrow lead over Lewis. Fernando Bernard now has crept up on Lewis. Evans has taken the lead, and to his outside, his teammate Wayne Jenks, but still lots of running room left. Lewis again crashing hurdles. Jenks to the outside. Evans now running in lane number 4, and Romando Bernard is creeping up in lane number 2, and he may post an upset. Romando Bernard of Muskegon has won it. 39.6. off the meet record, but a personal best, I believe, for Armando Bernard, who has upset Evans and Mark Lewis, who defeated him in the city. And it is Armando Bernard, your winner, and the 300-meter intermediate hurdles. To go now for the gals in the 300-meter hurdles. We have just one heat. The record in this event and the all-time area best, both set right here, 44.4. Blair Crone of Grand Haven in 1987. They're in their blocks. Missy Warwick of Greenville. Petron Alwyn of Montague as they get off and underway. Angie Mustonen of Greenville, the big favorite in this race. Holly Brooker, who just set a 400-meter dash record just a few minutes ago from West Michigan Christian, is lane number 4. She's got to be a tired gal. She didn't get much recovery time. Joy Whitty of Fremont in 5th, and Heidi Prather of Shelby is in lane number 6. And it's Angie Mustonen with her long legs with a big lead right now. Angie was a Seaway Conference champion a couple of days ago, shooting for a 44.4, and she has just got a tremendous lead over her next competitor. Angie Mustonen has almost an entire hurdle lead over the next competitor as she crosses the line in 44.5. Unofficially, that's 1/10 of a second off the area best and meet record set by Blair Crone in 1987. If she'd have had a little bit of competition, she might have broke the mark, but clearly this race belongs to Angie Mustonen, now a double winner in the hurdle races, and she also ran a leg on that winning 4x200-meter relay team for the Yellow Jackets. Next on the track, we have the boys' 800-meter run as Maurice Dukes will try to win this event for an unprecedented 4th straight year. This has never been done by a male athlete here in the 14 years of running this event. As a matter of fact, earlier this year, Maurice Dukes won the 800-meter dash in the city meet for the 4th consecutive year. That had never been accomplished in 38 years. So this is some kind of runner for Muskegon High School. Maurice Dukes, who has the all-time area best mark in this event, 154.06, set last year, finishing runner-up in the state Class A meet. Meet record in this event, a very quick 154.1 set by Chris Ingalls of Spring Lake, just a tick off the all-time area best mark set by Maurice Dukes. Kind of a muggy night here for Dukes to perhaps set a meet record, and if he sets it, he's probably going to have to do it running all by himself. We see Joe Mesa also in there, currently running in 2nd position. Darren Grant in 3rd for Fremont. 58 seconds for Dukes. He'll have to put about a 56-second final 400 meters if he wants to set an all-time area record and set a meet record, and that's highly unlikely, but he is picking up the pace. His teammate, Brandon Patterson from Muskegon, has now slipped from 4th into 3rd, and now is moving up to 2nd, and you can just barely see him in the picture. Extreme right side of the screen as Muskegon is threatening a 1-2 sweep for Muskegon. Darren Grant now has passed Joe Mesa hard for 3rd, and now Grant moving into 2nd, but this race belongs to Maurice Dukes as he comes around the final turn. We pan it back to the rest of the runners, and then look at the lead that Maurice Dukes has as he comes around the final turn. Maurice Dukes will win this race for the 4th time. Nobody else has done that except Maurice Dukes. 157.4, and Patterson has come back to regain 2nd place for the Muskegon Big Reds. Grant slipped back to 4th as Ludington's Ryan Donnelly moved up into 3rd position from Ludington, Michigan. Maurice Dukes well off his all-time area best, a 157.4, but he did win this event for the 4th straight year. Next on the track will be the girls' 800-meter run. Our defending champion is amongst the competitors in this event. Greenville's Sarah Miner won it last year in 2:24.2 as they're off and running. The meet record is 2:17.4 set by Kathy Ackley of Hart in 1985. And then that also doubles as our all-time area best. Kathy set that when she was a freshman, I believe, in 1985, right here at this same meet. They'll have, I believe, a one-lap stagger. They'll stay in their lanes. Yes, they will until they come out of the final turn. Your current leader, I believe that's Jordan Borgeld from Hart High School, as Miner now has moved up the challenge, and she's close to being in the lead in lane number 1 when you take the staggers into consideration. It is Miner now getting the lead over Borgeld. Kelly McCarthy, now a Reeths-Puffer, running in the inside, has moved into 3rd position as they now break for the pole. Lori Kamrowski is Shelby in 4th. Miner with a lap to go. Ran the first 400 meters in 72 seconds. Jordan Borgeld of Hart. Boy, it's tough to set a school record when the record is 2 minutes and 17 seconds, but she really is one of the premier runners in the area. And any other schools, she'd probably have a school record. Miner being pressured by Borgeld, and now Tammy Sheeler, your city champion, has come out of the back of the pack, and she's moved into contention, and she's within striking distance in 3rd. She ran in that meet record-setting 4x800 meter relay team for Mona Shores earlier, and she looks very strong. Miner in 1st, Sheeler moving up on Borgeld, and Sheeler now is putting it into another gear, and let's see if Miner can hold off Sheeler, and I believe Sarah Miner now has found another gear of her own as well. Sarah Miner trying to repeat her championship, will do so, as Sheeler will try to hold off Borgeld in 2nd, 2:24.9, and Borgeld came back. Jordan Borgeld took 2nd, Sheeler 3rd, Fremont 4th, Grand Haven 5th, and Reeths-Puffer 6th. In the girls' 800-meter run, Miner, for the 2nd year, winning in 2:24.9. We'll move into their blocks. We have Jason Lovell of Ludington in lane number 1. Rod Armstrong of Muskegon Heights, who is 2nd a couple of days ago in the conference meeting, 3rd in the city. In lane number 3, keep your eyes on Trinity Townsend. What a night he's had thus far. An all-time area best performance in the 400, officially clocked at 47.9. He's undefeated in this event as well this year, winning the regionals, the city, and the conference. Aurelius Randall, teammate of Trinity of Heights in 4. Wade Jenks of Greenville out in lane 5. We saw him earlier in the 300-meter hurdles. And Kenny Bean of Fruitport, looking to set a school record for the Trojan, is out in lane number 6 as the runners come out of their blocks. Something was not right with the starter, Mike Henry. Meet record in this event, 22.2, set by Bob Constant of Grand Haven. That was in the first meet back in 1979 and equaled last year by Muskegon's Diedrich Williams. Trinity Townsend, though, would have to really run something to set a school record for the Tigers. This is 21.3 as a record, but that was set by both Joe Parham and Mac Hunter on a straightaway, 220. They don't run a straightaway 220 anymore. They did then, and about running around the turn, they can go a little quicker. Of course, they didn't have all-weather tracks back in the early 60s either. And a fair start, and Townsend already has a commanding lead. He's made up the stagger on Jenks and Bean. Trinity Townsend earlier winning the 400 meters in 47.9. Now his teammate coming up on him. And it will be an upset here of some sort. No, that is Townsend hanging on. I thought it was a teammate of his coming on, and Townsend really got a slow start, and he had to come up on the outside of his teammate Aurelius Randall, who led throughout much of that race, and Townsend brings it home. Unofficially, his time 22.6, as Trinity Townsend has won his 2nd individual title, and he'll have a chance to bring home 4 first-place medals if he can anchor the Tiger 4x400 meter relay team to a first place finish a little bit later on. Trinity Townsend winning another. And they're blowing the whistles in the background, and we have the women's 200 meter dash runners in their blocks. I believe we have 2 heats. We may have 1 heat right now. Originally, they had 1 heat, but they've scratched down where they have a field of 6. Heather DeWild at Greenville in 1. Nelson, I believe, of Grand Haven is in 2. Leslie Lake, 100 earlier, is in lane number 3. I believe that's Laura Wildfong of Whitehall in 4. It's Ludington's Rena Leinberger in 5, and young freshman Stacy Sonder of North Muskegon in lane number 6 is Leslie Lake, just destroying this field. Leslie Lake combines with Angie Mustin to form an unbelievable 1-2 punch for the Yellow Jackets. Boy, she's got a Kathy Fitzpatrick-sized lead as she eases across the finish line in 25-3. It was Whitehall's Wildfong, I believe, second. Grand Haven took third. The young freshman Stacy Saunders of North Muskegon rallied to take, I believe, a 5th position. And DeWilt was in the pack as well from Greenville, but that race really belonged to Leslie Lake of Greenville. 25.3. Meet record was 24.8 by Kathy Fitzpatrick, but as I mentioned, she had a lead like Kathy enjoyed in her heyday back in the early 1980s. We have a little better than 2 laps to go in the boys' 3,200 meter run. The field is stretched out a little bit. Your current leader said this school a lot here tonight. It is Greenville and Gary Zink and his Seaway opponent Greg Lynn, who won the city, right stride by stride with him, 7:18. Rob Klomp, another Seaway Conference runner, currently in 3rd. Chris Healy, who won the 1,600 meters a year ago from Muskegon, is in 4th. Mike Cranmer of Fruitport 5th, and Kurt Hammonds of Orchard View currently in 6th position. Greg Lynn, exceptionally strong earlier on a cool evening for the city meet, but he dropped back a little bit over the weekend, as now we have Rob Klomp of Fremont moving up to join the pack of 3 and taking the lead with about 600 meters to go. Rob Klomp, Fremont. Greg Lynn, the junior out of Reeths-Puffer. And it is Zank of Greenville 3rd. Pretty much a 3-man race right now, and Zank now struggling to keep up with the leaders. Rob Klomp put a wheel of a surge on at about the 600-meter mark, and now he is going to run stride for stride as they come up to the gun lap. 400 meters to go, 8:33. Klomp and Lynn, Zank, Healy in 4th. I believe that's Lucci's of Fremont has moved up to 5th. Mike Cranmer of Fruitport is in the medal hunt. You can see as they come across the far turn and head at about the 300-meter mark, Greg Lynn now is making a burst, and he's taking the lead. Greg Lynn with 200 meters to go has the lead as Klomp now begins to falter a little bit after putting on a few bursts. Lynn glances over his shoulder to see where his competitor Klomp is, and he finds that he's all by himself right now after a very competitive first 7.5 laps. Race now is for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And it is Greg Lynn for the Reeths-Puffer Rockets, the junior, winning, and this might be a personal best time, 9:41. It'll be Klomp, 2nd, Zank charging for 3rd. Chris Healy's battling Lucci's, And it appears to be Healy nudging out Lucy's. Hammond of the host school, Orchard View, takes the sixth and final medal position as a whole bunch of runners in that race ran under the 10-minute barrier. A very fast 3,200-meter run here at Orchard View. A race won by Reeths-Puffer Jr. Greg Lynn. We have a little better than a lap to go in the girls' 3,200-meter relay. Meet record in this event set by Jeannie Spittler of Montague in 1987, 11:02.7. And we have in the lead Becky Shively of Fremont. She leaves Jana Baxter of Greenville, who is currently in second. In third place is Audra Martin of Mona Shores. Mahinsky of Hart is fourth. We got a battle between fifth and sixth between Heidi Panella and Amy Houston. But right now it's a two-team race, two-gal race, Shively and Baxter, and it's still anybody's race. The girls' 3,200-meter relay now with only a half a lap to go. And Shively and Baxter, two of the premier girl track teams in the area, and now Baxter seems to make a little surge and goes right around Shively. Boy, this night really has belonged to the gals of Greenville High School. I don't believe their team has been defeated this year in any major meets, and even though they don't keep a team total here, they certainly would have won this one, as Jana Baxter of Greenville is going to win this one with ease. She cruises home in 12:03 plus, and she is really woozy at the finish as she gave her all. Shively is second. And now let's see who's going to come in third as they come around the final turn. You can't pick them up as yet. Now they're going to pan back to Audra Martin of Mona Shores. And Marcy Mahinsky's running a good race for the Pirates of Hart High School. And for the home folks here at Orchard View High School, Heidi Panella will take fifth. And she's on cruise control. And Amy Houston of Fremont will get the sixth and final place medal as she just crosses the finish line. Real tough evening for the distance runners on a hot and muggy night. Very still, no breeze to cool them down. Had some blistering times earlier in the sprint events, but it's taken a little bit of the toll on the distance runners. Couple events to go as we've just seen another Greenville Yellow Jacket. This time, Jana Baxter come up with a first place medal. It's about ready to get underway. The 4x400-meter relay. Keegan Heights has scratched out of this event. We saw a runner come up limping at the end of the 200 meters, and I got to believe he was a valuable member of that 4x400-meter relay team. So they will not partake in this event, which ought to make it a pretty competitive field then. It will be Mona Shores, Grand Haven, Muskegon, Greenville, Hart, and Ludington. Each runner running one lap around the track as the lights have been turned on. They've been on for a few minutes. We still have a little bit of daylight left as this meet moving along very smoothly. Very difficult to tell who has the lead right now. I'm going to guess that maybe Greenville. Wade Jenks has the lead as they come out of the stagger. Now Grand Haven coming up on the inside. Josh Sable. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that is Sable. And Miss Mona Shores is moving in contention. Zach Anders. Zach Anders now has the baton handed off first to his teammate. I believe this is Jason Monette running a second leg for Mona Shores. We got a newcomer, a new add to the Grand Haven 1,600-meter relay team. That's the pole vaulter, Ben Robbins, running the second leg for Grand Haven. He's got a long way to run. He's been running in lane 2 throughout this race. Muskegon now is making up ground on the inside. Daquan James middle distance runner. Quan James with good speed for a distance runner is making up ground on Monette of Mona Shores. Muskegon High is taking over the lead. The Big Reds, Quan James with a good anchor. A good leg, I should say, not running the anchor. That'll be the last runner. He hands the baton to Corby Culver. Mona Shores currently in second position. And now Grand Haven challenging. Rory Hudis running a third leg for the Bucks. Greenville now has dropped back into fourth. Ludington fifth. Hart sixth. Corby Culver being pressured now by Mona Shores. Sailors making a dent into the lead of Muskegon, who will have Maurice Duke on the anchor. And Duke doesn't have to worry about Trinity Townsend coming from behind as Muskegon Heights is not in the picture. Muskegon has a handoff and a substantial lead as Maurice Duke will get the baton on the final handoff. Gerard Jemerson running the anchor for Mona Shores. Grand Haven third. That will be Scott Olthoff, a 400-meter finalist. Greenville now has moved into contention. Olthoff now has moved from fourth back into third, but Maurice Dukes with a commanding lead with 200 meters to go. Maurice Dukes of Muskegon holding off Jamerson. Still keeps that 10-minute lead as they come around the final turn. Meet record in this event shouldn't be in jeopardy here tonight, I don't believe. 322.3. It will be Maurice Dukes as Greenville has come out of nowhere. Evans has caught Jamerson. Evans, who won both hurdle events here earlier today, has come from a long way off the pack to give Greenville a second place finish. 3:28.7, the unofficial winning time for the Big Reds in the 1,600-meter relay. The final running event coming up here in just a couple of moments now to be the gals 4x400. All right, they're in their blocks for the girls 4x400-meter relay. Grand Haven, Montague, Greenville, Mona Shores, Hart, and Fremont. Your competitors. Meet record in this event for the gals. 4 minutes, 1 second flat, set by Muskegon in 1983. The Big Reds also hold the all-time area best performance, 3:58 flat in 1984. And look at Angie Mustonen go. She has already won 2 individual events here today. Set 1 meet record in the 100-meter hurdles, missed by only a tenth or so in the 300 hurdles, and she's got Greenville off to a big lead here. And they'll have Leslie Link on the anchor. Sarah Miner won the 800 earlier. They're going to be running against the clock, and we have Mustonen running a 58 flat. That would have won the 400-meter open by 10 yards. Wow. 58 flat or better for Angie Mustonen. And she hands off the stick to Missy Warwick. And they still got some blazers left here for Greenville. I don't know if we can pan back far enough to the second place finisher. As you can see, we're trying to catch up with the lead runner. Just now, we're picking her up in range of the camera. This is Missy Warwick of Greenville. Look at the lead they have. The second place runner, we've only run a lap and a half. That's Missy Rantham of Montague. We'll try to pick up the split here for Greenville's Missy Warwick. And she ran about a 62. They are on track, perhaps, to set a new meet record in this event. maybe even an all-time area best. This is Sarah Miner for Greenville, and there's no letting off for the Yellow Jackets. Pretty obvious they're going after some kind of a record here, and conditions right now are absolutely perfect. It's cooled off somewhat. The flag is absolutely hanging limp as it comes into your range here in just a couple of minutes when they pass the Muskegon Chronicle banner. Miner now with about 100 meters to go. He passes the scoreboard curve, comes right around the final turn, and she'll hand off to Leslie Lake. And they're going to be close to setting an all-time area best in this event. They have hit it in 3:01. 3:01. If she can run a 59-second quarter, we're going to have ourselves a meet record. Pretty close to perhaps setting an all-time area best as Leslie Lake has a commanding lead. 4:01 flat, and all she has to do is run a 60-second flat. I say all she has to do. You know, that would have won the open 400 meters, 60 seconds flat. But Lake and Mustonen, well, there's some kind of athletes for the Yellow Jackets, as the crowd now is going to try to help root them home. Mona Shores now is currently in second, Montague third, Grand Haven fourth, Whitehall fifth, and Hart is sixth. And here comes Leslie Lake trying to keep her form as she heads towards the finish line, and she has a new meet record, 4 minutes, .2. Unofficially, 4 minutes flat. That'll be a meet record for the Yellow Jackets, who have posted an incredible performance. Sheeler anchors Mona Shores to third. Montague finishes third, rather. Grand Haven fourth. A little further back to Fremont and Hart. As appropriately enough, Greenville's Gal Yellow Jackets come up with another meet record on the last running event of the 14th annual West Michigan Invitational Track Meet. We're going to go down the field here in a moment. We're going to try to find out who our all-area performers are, our outstanding individuals for the gals and the guys, and we'll have a talk with them here in just a couple of moments. Jim Moy's down on the field. We have our outstanding individuals, and really I don't think too much of a surprise for the guys here tonight is Trinity Townsend. You got the goal that you wanted tonight, and that's a sub-48. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was working on that for a long time. I knew this year I'd get that. I just had to condition my mind for it, and I knew if I wanted it bad enough, I could get a 47.
It's been a great season for the Muskegon Ice Tigers. We're going to get back with Trinity here in just a couple of moments. Angie Mustonen, the girls' outstanding individual. I think you got to share a little bit of that with some of your teammates here tonight, especially Leslie Lake. You guys were just outstanding. Had to be the peak event of the year for you coming in here tonight.
We've performed well as a team at almost every meet that we've gone to. I don't think that we've placed lower than second at anything. And it's been a real honor for our coach, Tom Warner. He's worked hard a long time to become regional champions since we've become an A school. And this year we finally achieved our goal as a team. I don't think anything really would have happened. I don't think any individual success would have come without teamwork.
Yeah, it wasn't that many years ago that I had a Mustonen here on television. It was your sister Michelle, and maybe you've been in her shadows for the past years, but you've come out of that now, and this had to be maybe your peak performance. You were only a tenth of a second off the all-time area best in the low hurdles. Your high hurdle time was outstanding as usual. How'd you feel tonight out there running?
I was excited. I was excited to reach my goal at the 300s, which was to re-break my school record, and I did that again tonight with a 44.5, I think, something like that. That was a big notch for me because it puts me in a better contention for state. I'm really excited for that.
Let's give you your final split in that mile relay. I had you clocked at 57.9.
Ouch. I just didn't think about it. I said, well, no other events after this, why not? I guess that's the kind of mentality you got to have.
57.9 is good, but 47.9 is not all that bad either for Trinity. Trinity, one question. Your mile relay team scratched out the last event. I thought one of your 200-meter runners might have pulled up lame. Is that the reason why you dropped out team-wise in that 4x400?
Well, we had a few guys. Actually, we have 3 other guys that don't run any other races except for the mile relay. And all 3 of those guys got hurt. And there weren't, any other guys on the team that could run anywhere near those guys. And so we decided to, scratch it. That way we could all concentrate more on our own individual races and on the races that we're strong in.
Trinity, last year you went down, I think, as a prohibitive favorite to win the 400 meters championship at the state level in Class B, but maybe you ran out of gas. But I think your coach, Mr. Belrose, and his assistants have gotten you a little bit more endurance. You ran cross-country last fall for the 2nd consecutive year. I see Trinity Townsend in the home stretch a lot stronger than he was a year ago. Do you go along with that?
Yeah, I've been working on that all year. Last year, that was my weakest part of the race, coming through and finishing. But this year, I've been working on my finish, working on the long straightaway, and coming through hard. So I think I've improved a lot, where now I can just sprint at the end.
Good luck to you at the state meet next weekend over in Grand Rapids, and good luck to you in your endeavors down the road at the University of Michigan State, or I say University of Michigan State, University of Michigan, and congratulations on a 3.7 grade point average. I think that's even more important than what you've done on the track here today.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that.
Okay, Trinity Townsend, our guest, and Angie Mastonen. Are you a graduating senior?
Yes, I am, sir.
What about your goals for next year?
Well, I think I'm going to be joining Trinity at U of M. Yes, sir. That's where it's come down to, and that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to like it there.
Well, this Pang's an old Spartan. Jim Moyes here with Angie Mastonen and Trinity Townsend, your outstanding individuals here at the 14th annual running of the West Michigan Invitational Track and Field Meet. Happy to have you with us. See you again next year. So long, everybody.